Oh, what's up, Bulldogs? All right, I thought I would do a quick video here as I'm going through my emails, and I came across this email that I thought was pretty interesting about hating the city you live in, basically hating your life circumstances and addressing the question of whether or not are you just pessimistic? Should you change things? Should you play the ball where it lies? As I actually replied to this email. If you guys are just joining me for the first time, I'm John from BulldogMindset.com. On this channel, I teach you how to be a man. I teach you how to build financial independence, how to get the physique you want, how to get the girls you want, and how to go from the victim mindset to the Bulldog mindset. Click that subscribe button, join us. Also, take the Bulldog quiz up here in the corner in the cards and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Let's see. So we're going to jump right into this and I'm going to read this email. All right. Hey, John, Chris here. I have a question regarding an issue that's been bothering me for a few years now. I really hate the area in which I was born and have lived in most of my life. I just don't feel like I've ever belonged, nor can I relate to the people that live here. I live in South Florida. As you probably are aware, it's a very liberal area, which is not good for me because I'm a staunch conservative and therefore cannot agree with most people in a whole lot, if anything at all. Okay, yeah, well, I live in California, my friend. Aside from these issues, I also feel as though I cannot fit into the social scene, as is all very unusual to me. I feel like a stranger wherever I go, an outcast. I definitely cannot get along with the women here, as they are unbelievably stuck up, mostly feminists, and just do not pay attention to me anyhow, which is why I believe my dating life is so bad. I just want to leave this place. Really don't feel like I belong. According to a friend of mine, however, these problems I'm facing aren't real, but rather of my own making due to my negative mindset. He says that a man can live well wherever he pleases, get girls regardless of the scene, culture, politics, etc., and be happy. He says, it's just me. Is this true? I hate the fact that he lives outside of the city and in a rural town, especially when he doesn't like it here either. Okay, I'm not sure what that has to do with it, but I know I have yet to join the membership, but I'm saving up money to do it. But this really bothers me. I sadly can't just move out from where I live. So what should I do? So we should join the membership. If you guys haven't joined the membership, click the link down below and join for $7 for the first month. And you will have plenty of guys to ask this question to and to get your answers from me personally on the live Q&As every month, as well as have a whole catalog of videos that gets added to every single week on everything from finance, investing in real estate, to dating, to how to be more masculine, to getting in shape, getting six-pack abs, all of that stuff, and the mindset stuff that is priceless. So go check it out. All right, so addressing this, here's the thing that you guys have to understand in life, all right, is that you are not, first of all, life is not fair. Okay, life is not fair. You've heard me say this before. And you're not always going to be in ideal circumstances. In fact, a lot of times you're going to be playing at a disadvantage, right? But you don't always have control over your environment and your circumstances, right? In fact, you have very little control over your life. Most of your life, you do not have control over. You don't have control over what the weather is. You don't have control over what other people do, right? You don't have control to some degree, even what your body does. You can't stop yourself from getting sick, all right? You can't stop yourself from dying, right? You can influence it, but you can't stop it. So, you've heard me talk about letting go of expectations. And that's part of it. But the part I want to focus on today, which is also very stoic in the mindset, is the idea that sometimes you just have to play the ball where it lies, right? Like you just have to look at in life, where am I? What is the situation I'm in? Okay, and what are my optimal moves, right? I talk about this a lot of times when people interview me, especially when we're talking about anger. And the reason why I just dismiss all that stuff is because it's like, I just want to look at life like it's a chessboard, okay? And I don't care what the arrangement of the board is. I don't have any personal feelings about it, all right? It is what it is. And sometimes I can look at the board and say, I am not in a great position. But the best thing, the only thing that I can do is to look at that board as objectively as possible and decide what is the best current move that I can make at this point. Okay, there is nothing else that exists in the world besides that one choice of what is the best move that I can make at this particular point. Whether you're upset about it, whether it's unfair, none of that stuff matters. It only matters what is the configuration of the board and what is the best move. This is what I want you to focus on, guys, because this is the only thing that is going to bring any kind of effectiveness in your life in what you want to accomplish and do. Okay, having emotional attachments to how you think things should be, how you think women should treat you, all of these things they only stop you, they only prevent you from making the best move because they cloud your analytical judgment. Now, again, I'm not saying walk through life as a robot. I'm not saying don't care what people do and let people abuse you and mistreat you. I'm not saying any of those things. Okay, but you have to separate the emotion from the logic so that you can make the correct move. And so in this particular scenario, okay, there's two things I would say. So first of all, you could change your environment. You could move out of southern Florida. You certainly could. Now, you say you can't, but I'm sure that you could. Okay, if you really wanted to, you could do that. Now, there might be extenuating circumstances that would prevent you from doing that. That's fine. But so you want to look at and say, first of all, two things, right? Is one, it might make sense to change an environment when the environment's not good for you. Okay, but before you go and change the environment, all right, Seneca wrote about this. He wrote about the traveler, and he talked about this idea that don't go and travel places in order to try to run away from your troubles, because no matter where you go, you are still there. You are with you wherever you go. And so if your problem is you, trying to go somewhere else is not going to solve it, right? Because so many people do this. They jump through life and they're like, well, if this happens, if I can get this circumstance, if I get this job, if I get this raise, if I get this girl, if I move to this location, then everything will be grand and I'll be happy and everything will be good. Okay. But it doesn't work out that way. At first it does. At first they're like, yeah, all right, it's better. And then they fall into the same pattern again. They're never happy, right? Maybe you're one of those people, you've never been happy in life, right? It's like no matter what happened, right? I've had guys that they're like, oh yeah, I was making $30,000 a year. And then I got this job making 60. And I was like, this is insane amount of money. And then I'm making six figures. And it's like, but now I feel discontent. And it's like, how could this possibly be? And the reason why is because no matter where you go, there you are. Like the problem was not that you didn't have enough money. The problem was not that you didn't have enough hot girls. The problem was none of those things. It was that the problem was you. Okay. And so I just want you to be aware of that, is that there's nothing wrong with changing your environment. There's nothing wrong with moving to a better place. If you feel like you could do better in the dating scene and you'd like the environment better in a different location, great, that's fine. That's awesome. Go ahead and make that choice, but make that choice independently of playing the ball where it lies. Like I said, I tell a lot of my coaching clients, I'm like, look, I want you to go into work and see it as a challenge. See your boss as a challenge. I want you to figure out how to overcome all these things so you can thrive in the environment, and then we can change the environment, because that's the most important thing. Because once you become a true Stoic, and you can say, well, it doesn't matter what you give me. Like what you give me, what the environment is, does not determine whether or not I thrive. Okay? I might change my environment from a conscious choice, but you can put me in a pile of shit and I will be happy. Or you can put me in a palace and I will be happy. My environment, the external, does not influence my internal. I decide what my internal is. I have the strength to bear whatever it is. And if you give me a pile of shit, I will figure out how that is improving me in some way by making me stronger. And I will find joy and happiness in the progression of dealing with this and carrying this burden. And I will find pride in that. Okay. And if you put me in a palace, then I will use that and I will enjoy what I have and figure out ways that will improve me as a person and how I can grow from that, because life is growth. Okay. Growth is life. Okay. If you're not growing, you're dying. That's what Tony Robbins says all the time. It's very true. So that's the thing that I would say to you, Chris, is first of all, your friend is kind of right? It is your negative mindset in the sense that, first of all, let me tell you something about girls, okay, that are feminist, liberal girls, okay? Those girls they are really hungry for a man, for a real man, okay? You will find that if you are with a feminist liberal girl, if you don't buy into her bullshit, she's going to be angry, okay? Because those women, all right, they're actually your easiest targets, okay? That's how it is. With that said, you might not like the scene, so adapt. Figure out how to maximize. Again, let's look back at the chessboard, okay? So you're living in Southern Florida. You don't want to change the environment? Can't change the environment? Fine. Okay. So what do you got? All right. You got this particular configuration on the board. You got these liberal women that are feminists. Okay. Well, I just gave you some tools you can use to take advantage of that, to utilize that. Oh, you don't fit in with people, social. Okay. So figure out how you can fit in. Figure out the things that you like. All right. Figure out how you don't have to agree with people's politics, but What things can you exploit? Okay, I'm not saying be an asshole, but what things can you exploit about that? So it's kind of good to be in a city where men are really weak and pussies, right? Is that not a good thing? Like, can you utilize that, right, to make yourself look better, right? It's an advantage, right? So figure out all the things that you can utilize, all right? You're in Southern Florida, right? I'm assuming somewhere, maybe Miami. Okay, hey. Well, what do you got there? You got like super hot girls that are super artificial, like they are superficial. Okay, so how can you utilize that? Right? Think about that. There's some advantages there. You've got some opportunity there. So think about how you can utilize these things instead of wishing you were somewhere else and thinking that it would be better, because it won't be better if you're somewhere else. Because if you can develop these skills, think of it as a challenge as well. This is another way to frame it, right? You always have to frame things as positive. So you could say, okay, well, I'm going to frame this as a challenge. It's going to be really hard for me here because of the caliber of girls, because of the situation, because I feel like I don't fit in. So I am going to improve myself by having success here. Because if you can make it in Miami, okay, you can make it anywhere, right? If you can pick up hot girls in Miami, all right, it's going to be easier in other places. So take that as a challenge, and then think, hey, this is a great opportunity for me to improve my skills. And when I go somewhere else to the Midwest, I'll just be the super pimp, right? Because I'll be so awesome. My skills will be so high. Again, you don't have to like adopt any of these exact things that I'm telling you, but what I'm trying to tell you is basically two things. Again, guys, join the Bulldog Mindset membership if you haven't, or if you find value in this, go, support it and become part of our group. All right. So I'm trying to tell you two things here, which is one, become stoic. Make it so that your environment does not influence or determine your internal state. Whether you are dealt shit or a palace, that should not matter. You should still play the cards. You should play the ball where it lies. Okay? That's important. And number two, frame things. Frame things to your advantage. Always look at a situation and say, this is what I say all the time. Well, that's good because, all right, my business partner with my other company, Simple Programmer, Josh, he used to always be like, oh, God, John, I know what you're going to say, right? He'd give me some bad news and he'd be like, I know what you're going to say. Like, what am I going to say? He's going to say, you're going to say that's good because. And that's right. That's what I would say, because that's how I view it. Like, no matter what you hand me, I'm going to say that's good because. Okay? Because there's no other way to look at life that makes any kind of sense. It doesn't make any sense to be like, that's bad. Why? Think about how can it be good, right? This is the ultimate frame control. You want to learn that not only will this just be a positive thing in your life, okay, for you to figure out how to make good out of bad situations, but it's the ultimate frame control. You come at me with something bad, I misinterpret it as something good, right? You guys want to get good with women, same thing. Some girl says something offhand to you, and you're like, you could take it as an insult, or you could take it as a compliment, right? You can interpret it whatever way. You could be like, wow, this girl's being such a bitch to me because she knows of how because she's attracted to me. So it's so transparent what you're doing, sweetheart. I see exactly through what you're doing, babe. Oh, that's so cute. That's so cute that you're acting like you've got the bitch face for me. So cute. I know it. Right? That's it. It's ultimate frame control. People will be sucked into your frame. They're like, fuck, this guy, I hate him, but he's so fucking charismatic. I don't understand why I have to get his approval. It's because your frame is so strong. It's because no matter what someone throws at you, you say, well, that's good because. So that's your new frame, my man. All right, Chris, I want you to have the frame of that's good because, and I want you to think I live in Southern Florida, and that's good because. The girls are feminist, and that's good because. The girls are super liberal, and that's good because. All right, I want you to think about all those things as that's good because.